Welcome to Stuff They Didn't Teach Me in Sunday School. My brother-in-law was career Army. He was teaching at the War College in Montgomery, Alabama, when Desert Storm broke out. I talked to John a little bit after that time, and I said, I bet you were glad you were at the War College and you didn't have to go to Desert Storm. And his answer was, no, I was hugely disappointed. He said, Bruce, that's what I prepared to do my whole life. My career was preparing to go to Desert Storm or something like it, and I ended up having to stay in the War College in Montgomery. He said, I wanted to see action. And as you get to the book of Joshua, Israel is sitting on the shores of the Jordan River, and they're about to see action. They've been traveling in the wilderness for 40 years. They've just listened to a few sermons from their leader, Moses, and they've seen him depart and turn the reins over to Joshua, and they're ready to go. But the action they're going to see is kind of strange, bizarre action. It's not very much like most wars. They do what most good military troops would do. They send spies into the first city on the other side of the Jordan River. That first city is the city of Jericho. And the spies go to a place where one might not be all that surprised by men coming in and out of the building. They go to the house of a prostitute by the name of Rahab. Interesting feature in Hebrew is that the word prostitute and the word for innkeeper are basically the same word. And I don't know if that tells us more about prostitutes or more about inns, but they go to this place in the wall where the prostitute Rahab maintains this inn or this house of ill repute. And they spy out the city. Rahab helps them escape outside the city wall, and in the process she says, remember me when you conquer this city. Rahab had heard about the exploits of Israel, actually the exploits of Yahweh, as he led them through the Red Sea 40 years ago and across the Sinai Peninsula for 40 years, and now had them on her doorstep. The next day, or shortly thereafter, they crossed the Jordan River. The Jordan was in flood stage, and I'm pretty sure that was intentional on God's part. You could have crossed it fairly easily in many spots just by wading through it. But God parts that river for them. You see, this isn't the same people that came out of Egypt. This isn't the same people that walked through the parting of the Red Sea. Their parents did, and they've heard the stories. And they've remembered in that Hebrew sense of remembering that they were there in their ancestors. But now God is going to give them their own water parting experience as he parts the Jordan River and these 3 million people pass through on dry land and camp outside of the city of Jericho. The Battle of Jericho is one you learn in Sunday school classes pretty frequently and pretty well. God tells them, go march around the city once a day for 6 days. And on the 7th day, go march around the city 7 times, blow your trumpet on the 7th time, and the walls will fall down. What kind of war is that? What kind of military action is it? That's more like liturgy than war. And yet that's what the people do. And God had a point. Not only was it a miraculous taking of this city as the walls fell down and the people just swarmed over the city, the Israelites did, but it was an indication of who was really in control and who was fighting the battle. We're going to see throughout the Old Testament and then again in the New Testament glimpses of the concept of holy war. War not fought for God as we might interpret it today, but war fought by God. And at the Battle of Jericho, we see a battle fought by God. So clearly illustrated that Israel cannot miss the point that God is doing this thing for them. God is going to settle them into this land and move the inhabitants of the land out and away so that Israel can have this new land. God is a God of grace. These people did not deserve that, and yet God is going to do it. He's going to bring his people to their homeland, just as he brings you and me to our everlasting homeland in spite of our sin, but because of Jesus Christ.